here we are once again talking all things Crewe Alexandra and continuing our sort of theme towards what goes on in the academy, and delighted to welcome the academy manager in Aidan Callan, who's going to be talking all through what happens here for him and his staff as well. So first of all, Aidan, just talk us through how you actually arrived at the football club a few years ago now.
Yeah, I think this is my 21st season at the club. Started off in the community department with Ray Walker, who I used to play with the back end of his career at Leek. So I had a relationship with him there, and got involved in the coaching. Was doing the community for a few years, and ended up part-time working with under-9s here as well. So that was a good while ago, and then I think I became full-time just before the EPP sort of started, which was probably about 8 years ago now. So been doing a variety of different roles in the academy, and now I'm, as you say, academy manager, and I've been so for the last 6 seasons.
It's a fantastic feeling, I would think, to be an academy manager of a professional football club.
Definitely, it wasn't something that was on my radar particularly. I think circumstances were fortunate enough that I was offered the position when Dave Artell became first team manager, who was obviously previously the academy manager. So as I say, it wasn't something I was searching for, but it was an opportunity that I couldn't turn down, and I have to say I've enjoyed every minute of it. It's a challenging role, it's different to what I'm used to, but I thoroughly enjoy it, the day-to-day involvement in different capacities. So yeah, it's good.
Briefly outline your role then. Academy manager seems to me as though it's quite easy to define what it is. It's over everybody in that sort of group. But what is the main job? Yeah,
as you say, it's overseeing the different departments within the academy. You know, I think it's important to stress it's not just coaching. We have lots of departments from sports science, the physios, player care, safeguarding, education. So we have lots of support staff within those departments, but I guess my remit is to oversee and make sure things are ticking along nicely. And ultimately, I mentioned coaching earlier. Coaching is very important at this particular football club. So it's been involved in every decision, I guess, that takes place within the academy.
Over the last few months, there's been a real change, hasn't there, in terms of personnel and positions at the academy due to people moving upwards, basically. We'll talk more about that in a moment or two's time, but can you just explain how those changes have come into play?
Yeah, obviously with the fact that Alex and Lee are now involved with the first team, obviously first team manager and assistant, that does have a trigger effect at this football club. We do look within when we are appointing first and foremost. That doesn't always happen, but on this particular occasion it has. Alex moving up from the 23s created a position below, which Michael Jackson has taken on, coming out of the youth team environment. So as I say, it has had a trigger effect through a variety of different people now working in different roles. It gave us an opportunity for David Vaughan to come in from a part-time coaching position to work closely with Ryan Dicker in the youth team. And as I say, that in itself has opportunities for new part-time staff to come in, and I think that's important that we stay refreshed. It's not always about bringing in internal appointments. We like to add different ideas from elsewhere as well. So that's something that I've been busy over the last few months doing.
There's been quite a lot of people who've worked in the academy have moved into that first team level. You mentioned Alex and Lee, but there's been James Collins, Neil Critchley, David Artell, of course, who've all gone into first team level. Is that a bit of a concern that you could be drying up if it was moving that way, you know, in a couple of years' time, that you've got to get somebody ready, or would you leave that to somebody else?
No, we're constantly succession planning. So we are always looking for who's the next one in, whatever role that may be. I think the problem comes when we move too many on at the same time. That can cause issues. I think it's important to understand this club, as you know, develops not just footballers, but as you say, coaches, managers, and that's something we want to continue doing. I'm sure the coaches here have aspirations of coaching or managing at certain levels. We know that. It's something we encourage. We try and develop as they're here. And we've got to make sure that we've got people in place ready to take that opportunity. If we haven't, obviously we're looking for, as I said, fresh ideas from coaches and staff, perhaps at other clubs as well, who are looking to develop. So we are constantly evolving, and we are constantly having an eye on who's next in.
Well, one role that you're looking at to Phil at the moment is Phil Swift's role, the recruitment officer, I think his title was. He'd been here many, many years and would have seen hundreds of school kids come through this football club and so on, gone on to be, genuinely top professionals as well. Where are you up to with that, and how key a role is that now in the modern day game?
Yeah, Phil produced during his time here lots of players who've came through, did a brilliant job, and will certainly be difficult to replace. It's given us an opportunity to interview, which we've done. We're coming to the end of that process now. We've got some good candidates who are looking to fill what I think is certainly probably the most important role in the football club. We've got lots of good coaches and support staff, like I mentioned earlier, but ultimately it's about getting the players through the door. So that head of recruitment role at this football club is absolute paramount. I've interviewed a lot of staff over the last 12 months in different roles, but I think this one is probably the most important one that I've had to oversee.
Does it help you when you're looking to get the right person in to see where your standing is nationally in terms of where Crewe Academy is? And what I'm trying to say is I think you were voted 11th in the country last year. I guess you're trying to still improve in that, but does that help you when you're interviewing for positions?
Definitely, yeah. You rightly said, I think we were ranked at 11th in producing footballers in the last survey that was done last year. Our aim is to be better than that. I think 11th in itself is outstanding for the size of club that we are. Speaking to the chairman, Charles Grant, last week, we talk about targets, performance targets for the academy, and we talked about why settle for 11th, why not try and crack the top 10, which is something we want to do. And I think if we can do that, it is a real selling point for staff who want to join this football club, that they understand how important youth development is and how high up our priority list that is regards to producing footballers for our first team. So yeah, hopefully top 10.
Talking of first team, how much involvement do you have with the managers of those setups, first team, under 23, under 18s, under 16, as the academy manager? Are you with them all the time and talking about things?
We talk all the time because of the nature of the building. We pass each other in the corridor and the training ground and the pitches and the canteen. So there's always those corridor conversations taking place. Myself and Alex have a great relationship, as I did with Dave Artell. We had a good relationship. Me and Alex have followed a similar path, if you like. We started at the coaching at the academy at a similar time. So same with Lee Bell. We clearly understand what this football club is about, what the ethos is. So we constantly talk about players. I don't particularly get involved with the first team. However, naturally we keep an eye on it because it contains a lot of the players that we've produced through the academy. So I get to watch the games as often as I can. As I say, just keep an eye on things, and me and Alex talk both informally and formally as well about players who are coming through, things that he needs to know, succession planning. We talk about players right down to the under-9s. I think that's important that the manager is aware of potentially who's coming through, which he does and he is aware of because he gets to watch the games as well.
The history of the football club goes back many, many years of the way he supported the academy. There's been a few occasions, of course, when it's been thought, do we change, do we go a different route? But the board, with John Boland and his team, were very supportive of it, and it's been carrying on with Charles Grant and his team now in the modern day. What's their sort of remit to you? What are they after? What do they want from the academy?
I think it's quite simple, really. I think naturally we need to produce footballers, local footballers as well. We have a catchment area. We're very competitive with the clubs that we're trying to take players off. They're trying to take the same players as well. So we want local, homegrown players. We're not looking further afield than the radius that we can take players from, which is an hour and a half. So I think the board are very supportive. First and foremost, they understand the challenges that we face as an academy. I've just mentioned the clubs that we're competing with. But if we can keep doing what we've naturally done, certainly before my time, and I'm just trying to continue the trend really. So ultimately producing footballers. If we're not producing footballers, we're producing well-rounded young men who have great experiences here at the academy. We're trying to provide not just good coaching, but proper experiences that they can take with them and develop elsewhere if it's not here. But I think first and foremost, we need to see our own players walking out at Gresty Road at 3 o'clock on a Saturday.
I think we're getting a great insight, anybody watching this or listening to it as well, Aidan, of what the academy means to this football club and how you all join in together. It's been obviously talked about many times that sometimes supporters have their say and they'll say, we don't win enough games, we're not really interested in winning football matches, but we're interested in developing them. Have you seen a change of that in the recent years? There is a bit more emphasis on winning games, a bit more in that mentality, or if you don't go that way, they could get lost?
Yeah, I think naturally coaches, people, staff, they want to win whatever they do. I think that's just inside people's mindset. As the players get older, I work with under nines, and hand on heart, when I take the under nines, we tell the players it's not about winning, it's about developing. As the age groups progress, I think winning becomes more important. The players, as I say, they want to win. When they step out on the pitch, they want to win, naturally. But certainly when they get into the youth phase and the professional development phase, your 16s, 18s, 21s, it is a bit more about winning, because we have to place the players in a first team environment where they understand the importance of winning and the consequences of losing. So we've got to create challenges for our academy boys, whether that's more tournaments, more in-house competitions. Not all the time, we've got to get the balance between development and winning, but it's something we are looking at as an academy. We enter our players into, as I say, tournaments. We're taking our under-10s to St George's Park on Monday. That's a tournament, so we will be talking a little bit more about, yes, enjoy yourself and develop, but it's a tournament. You might need to win this game, and I think just dropping little experiences like that in is going to be helpful to their development. And ultimately, when they get into the first team, they understand that it is about winning.
Well, we're coming towards the end of our chat. Just on a personal note, what is the satisfaction that you get, and what you're looking for?
The satisfaction I get is, it's funny, the first thing I look at when I'm looking at the team who play on a Saturday or midweek is how many players have we got in there who've come through. Historically, it's been 5, 6, 7, and that's brilliant. That's something that not just makes me proud, but every member of staff, past and present, who've worked with that player. That's something that gives you a real good feeling of taking part in their experiences and their development over the years. So that's what gives us that pride, seeing local players who might have joined us at the age of 6. We've helped them along their way, albeit sometimes little bits, sometimes real involvement, but every member of staff here has had a part to play. So that's what makes me proud, and that's something we've got to continue doing.